Picture this scenario because I know it has happened to you in the last 2 weeks. It is Sunday evening. You are standing in front of your open refrigerator. Not because you are hungry, because something smells. You start digging around. Behind the ketchup, behind the half-empty jar of salsa, you find it. A container of leftover chicken from last Tuesday. Except it is not Tuesday anymore. The chicken has developed a personality. It is green in places chicken should never be green. You toss it, then you keep going. There is a bag of spinach you bought because you were going to start making smoothies. It has turned into a dark, wet paste inside the bag. Gone. There is a block of cheese with a fur coat growing on it. Gone. There are 2 bell peppers that have gone soft and wrinkly like deflated balloons. Gone. There is a yogurt that expired 11 days ago. Gone. By the time you are done, you have thrown away $35 to $40 worth of food. You tie up the trash bag, you take it outside, and you feel that familiar sting of guilt. You tell yourself, next week I will plan better. I will actually eat what I buy. And then next Sunday, you are standing in front of the fridge again, throwing away another $35. But here is the thing. That guilt you feel, it is not big enough. Not even close. Because the $35 you just threw in the garbage is not actually $35. When you run the real numbers, when you do the forensic accounting on what that wasted food is truly costing you over a lifetime, the number is so large it will make you physically uncomfortable. My name is Kai, and I spend way too much time thinking about the invisible financial leaks that keep people broke without them even realizing it. If you are someone who works hard, earns a decent paycheck, but somehow never seems to build the savings you know you should have, and you have never once thought to look inside your refrigerator for the answer, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we are not talking about meal planning. We are not talking about Pinterest recipes or cute Tupperware systems. We are talking about a slow, silent, weekly wealth transfer from your bank account directly into a trash bag. And the math behind it is genuinely brutal. Here is what most people do not understand about food waste. They think of it as a small, annoying habit, like leaving the lights on or forgetting to cancel a free trial. It feels minor. A few dollars here, a soggy bag of lettuce there. Not a real financial problem. But the USDA has been tracking this, and the numbers tell a very different story. The average American household throws away approximately 30 to 40% of the food they purchase. Let that sit for a second. You walk into the grocery store, you fill your cart, you pay at the register. And roughly 1 out of every 3 items in that cart is going to end up in your trash can. Not in your stomach, in your trash can. The average American household spends about $270 per week on groceries as of 2024. If 30% of that is wasted, that is $81 per week going directly into the garbage. That is $350 per month. That is $4,212 per year. Not $500, not $1,000. Over $4,000 per year thrown away. Let me put that into perspective. If your boss came to you tomorrow and said, "Hey, I need you to take a $4,200 pay cut this year," you would be furious. You might quit. You would at least start looking for another job. But you are voluntarily giving yourself that pay cut every single year, and you do not even notice because it leaves your life $35 at a time, and that is the average. If you live in a high cost of living area, if you shop at Whole Foods or the organic section, if you are a family of 4 instead of 2, you could easily be looking at $5,000 to $6,000 per year in wasted food. That is a vacation. That is 3 months of car payments. That is a meaningful chunk of a down payment on a house, and it is rotting in your refrigerator right now. But here is where it gets genuinely dark, because the $4,200 is just the first layer. That is just the sticker price. The real cost, the cost that should keep you up at night, is what that money could have done if you had not thrown it away. Let me walk you through the math, and I need you to actually sit with this. Let's say you are 30 years old. You have roughly 35 years until traditional retirement age. If you took that $4,200 per year and instead of throwing it in the garbage, you invested it in a simple index fund, earning the historical average of 8% annually, do you know what that becomes? $880,000. That is not a typo. The food rotting in your refrigerator over the course of your working life represents nearly $900,000 in lost wealth. You are not throwing away yogurt. You are throwing away a retirement account. You are throwing away financial freedom. You are throwing away the ability to tell your boss to go to hell when you are 58, instead of working until you are 70 because your savings fell short. Let me make this even more concrete. That weekly $81 in wasted food, that is roughly $11.50 per day. For the price of the food you are throwing away every single day, you could be funding an IRA. You could be making an extra payment on your car loan. You could be building the emergency fund that stands between you and financial catastrophe. Instead, it is becoming compost in a landfill. Every day, for decades. And look, I know what you are thinking. Kai, come on, nobody wastes that much food. I am pretty careful, and maybe you are better than average. Let's cut the number in half. Let's say you only waste $2,100 per year instead of $4,200. That still compounds to over $430,000 across 35 years. You could waste half as much as the average American and still be throwing away nearly $500,000. The math does not care about your feelings. It just compounds. Now here is the part that nobody talks about. Why do we waste this much food in the first place? It is not because we are stupid. It is not because we do not know that spinach goes bad. It is because of how we are psychologically wired to shop. There is a concept called aspirational buying. This is when you purchase food based on the person you want to be rather than the person you actually are. You buy the kale because you want to be the person who eats kale. You buy the salmon fillets because you picture yourself cooking a nice dinner on Wednesday. You buy the fresh berries because a healthy person would eat fresh berries for breakfast. But then Wednesday comes and you are exhausted from work, so you order Thai food. Thursday you eat leftovers from that Thai food. Friday you go out with friends. Saturday you sleep in and grab brunch. And by Sunday, the kale is yellow, the salmon smells like a crime scene, and the berries have become a petri dish. You did not buy groceries, you bought a fantasy. And that fantasy cost you $40 that went straight into the trash. And then there is the other side of the psychology, the reason the food sits in your fridge for a week before you finally throw it away. It is called the sunk cost fallacy. You spent $7 on that salmon. Throwing it away means admitting you wasted $7. So you keep it. You keep it one more day. You tell yourself you will cook it tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes the day after. The day after becomes the day it starts smelling. And now you have wasted $7 plus 5 days of refrigerator space plus the mental energy of feeling guilty about it every time you opened the door. You did not save anything by keeping it. You just extended the pain of the loss across an entire week. This is the psychological 1-2 punch that makes food waste so persistent. Aspirational buying gets the food into your cart, and sunk cost keeps it rotting in your fridge long after you should have cut your losses. And if it were just you, against your own psychology, that would be bad enough. But you are not just fighting your brain. You are fighting an entire industry that profits from this exact cycle. But it gets worse, because you are not doing this alone. Grocery stores are engineered to amplify this exact behavior. Think about it from their perspective. They do not care if you eat the food. They already have your money. Every buy one, get one free deal, every bulk discount, every family pack that is 30% cheaper per pound, every end cap display is designed to make you put more in your cart than you can consume. The store wins when you overbuy. The food that rots in your fridge is pure profit for them. They sold you a product. Whether you use it is your problem. And the expiration date system makes it even worse. Most sell-by and best-by dates are not safety dates. They are marketing dates set by manufacturers to encourage you to throw away perfectly good food and buy it again. And studies have shown that up to 80% of Americans throw away food prematurely because they misunderstand these labels. You are throwing money in the trash because a date on a package told you to, and that date was set by the company that profits when you buy a replacement. So the grocery store gets you to overbuy. The expiration labels get you to throw away what you did not eat fast enough. And then you go back to the store and the cycle starts again. You are not a consumer in this system. You are a subscription. And here is another layer most people completely miss. The cost does not stop at the register. Your refrigerator is the single most energy-consuming appliance in your home. It runs 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And when you stuff it full of food, you are eventually going to throw away. You are paying to keep that food cold while it slowly dies. A packed, overstuffed fridge forces the compressor to work harder, which means higher electricity bills, roughly $50 to $100 more per year than a properly stocked one. You did not just waste the food. You paid rent for it while it died. You bought it at the store, you housed it in your fridge on your electric bill, and then you paid to have it hauled away with your trash. 3 transactions, 0 meals. That is a business model, and you are on the wrong side of it. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Kai, this is depressing. I get it. I waste food and it costs me a fortune. But what am I supposed to do? I cannot predict exactly what I am going to eat every single day. And you are right, you cannot. Perfection is not the goal here. But cutting your food waste even in half would save you over $2,000 per year. And unlike getting a raise or landing a side hustle, this does not require you to work a single extra hour. This is money you already earned. You just have to stop throwing it away. But here is the mindset shift that actually works, and it has nothing to do with meal prep containers or apps. You need to start treating your refrigerator like an investment portfolio. I am serious. A smart investor does not buy random assets and ignore them for a week. They monitor their positions, and they have an exit plan for every holding. Your fridge should work the same way. But you do the opposite. You watch the chicken in the back of your fridge lose value every single day. You know the clock is running, and you do nothing until it is worth 0. Then you throw it away and absorb the full loss. That is not a food habit. That is terrible portfolio management. Every item in your refrigerator is a depreciating asset. The moment you buy it, the clock starts ticking. Produce has 5 to 7 days. Meat has 3 to 4. These are not groceries. These are perishable financial instruments. From the moment you leave the store, the only question is how you manage that decay. Not preventing it. You cannot prevent it. But you can stop losing money to it. Rule 1. Shop for 3 days, not 7. You cannot predict what you will want to eat on Thursday when you are shopping on Sunday. Buy for 2 to 3 days. You will buy less, waste almost nothing, and spend less total because you are not impulse buying for a week you cannot forecast. Rule 2. Eat what is dying first. Open the fridge. Find what is closest to going bad and build your meal around that. Not around what sounds good, not around what you are craving, around what needs to be consumed before it hits zero. You eat down before you restock. Rule 3. Track your waste for 1 month. Every time you throw food away, write down the item and the approximate cost. At the end of 30 days, add it up. That number will change your behavior permanently. Once you see it, every soggy bag of lettuce stops being a minor annoyance and starts looking like a $20 bill you lit on fire. Rule 4. Use your freezer like a savings account. Meat you are not cooking within 2 days gets frozen immediately. Leftover rice, bread going stale, cooked meals you made too much of, freeze it. Your freezer buys you time. And in the food waste game, time is the only thing working against you. Here is the thing I want you to take away from this. Nobody goes broke from one dramatic financial disaster. Most people go broke from 1,000 tiny leaks they never bother to measure. Your fridge is one of the biggest leaks in your house, and nobody is talking about it because it does not feel like a financial problem. It feels like a food problem. It feels like a Tuesday night. It feels like something everybody does. And that is exactly why it works. The most dangerous financial leaks are not the ones that make you panic. They are the ones that feel normal. The ones you never think to measure because they are wrapped in the routine of daily life. You would notice if someone stole $80 from your wallet. You would never notice $80 worth of food quietly rotting behind the salsa every week. Same money, same loss. Completely different emotional response. And depending on your grocery spend, over a lifetime you are looking at something like $150,000 in food you paid for and never ate. That is a house down payment. That is a child's college education. That is freedom. Sitting in a landfill, quietly. Everybody wastes food. Everybody throws away the leftovers. Everybody buys more than they eat. And everybody retires with less money than they should have. Those two facts are not a coincidence. They are cause and effect, separated by just enough time and just enough normalcy that you never connect them. You do not have an income problem if your refrigerator is quietly undoing your paycheck every week. The scariest financial threats do not announce themselves. They do not show up on your bank statement with a red flag. They sit in your fridge, rot slowly, and steal from your future, one Sunday night at a time. And nobody warns you because everyone around you is doing the exact same thing. Now you know. The question is whether next Sunday is going to look different. If this video made you see your groceries differently, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more content that exposes the hidden math behind why you feel broke. I will see you in the next one.